Good morning, sir. I am JR Mikutuan from Betelgeuse 2, BSMT 2 Betelgeuse. In this video, I will explain my PowerPoint presentation about the general defects that affect the steel structures due to direct wear and tear. What is steel structure? A steel structure is a metal structure which is made of structural steel components connected to each other to carry load and provide rigidity. Structural steel comes in various shapes like L-beam, Z-shape, HSS shape, L-shape angle, structural channel or C-beam, cross section, T-shape, real profile, bar, rod, plate, and open joints of web steel. These are the following that defects and affect the steel structures due to direct wear and tear. We have three general defects that affect. First is the corrosion, second is deformation, and the third is fractures. What is corrosion? Corrosion is also considered as material wastage. It is the lead cause for structural deformations and fracturing. It is by far the most common of all defects directly related to steel and its component. If left unattended, corrosion is a disaster waiting to happen, either by cargo or fuel oil contamination, structural losses, pollution, and finally, possible loss of the ship itself. The second is the deformation. It is a sub-component defect caused due to damage to steel platings or material failure. It could be a change of shape or physical disfigurement of steel that is caused by either by implosion caused by the vacuum build-up in tanks or explosion. Maybe excessive dynamic wave bending or loading as well as static stress. Shapes, hugging and sagging conditions and strain onto the steel structure and likewise. Third is the fractures. This is due to propagation of cracks through the steel plating which has been left unattended. Most of it occurs due to excessive stress concentrated on weakened steel plates throughout the tank's dimensions. Here are the few pointers one should specifically identify while inspecting the steel tanks. First is we're going to assessing the overall condition immediately on entering the enclosed space. One can figure out the tank's well-being by considering the state of accessways by the ladders, paint coatings, and closely observing areas susceptible to corrosion such as near to weld joints. Ang pasabot ani is kung naay mga taya or kanon dapat sa inspekton siya sa mga painters na akuanon siya akuhaon ang taya tapos weldingog balik tapos pinturahan. Lalo na dito sa mga ni-welding sa mga ni-welding pag naitaya kuskuson to kuanan siya hinluan pag human pinturahan balik. Pero kung naibuslot welding kong balik. Second is condition of corrosion levels. General corrosion appears to be non-predictive oxidation that tends to crop up homogeneously or on internal surfaces of the holds or tank left uncoated. The corroded scale frequently breaks off, revealing the bare metal susceptible to corrosive attack. So, in tank and holds that have been coated, corrosion starts affected the moment of coating starts breaking down, determining thickness reduction and steel plates is difficult unless excessive shrinking has occurred. So, ang pasabot ani is ang kabag-on sa taya na nahimo sa steel structure or steel plates na like gitaya na siya, tapos yung imong kutkuton unsa siya ka bag-a, unsa siya ka laluma ang iyang taya. Kung taya na kaayo, maybe kuno na lang weldingon siya na buliton siya murag nga na, tapos pinturahan. Tapos kung mo landing na or mo onboard port yung nga na onboard na, ano na kunon siya pulihan siya steel plate. So in the three condition of the sacrificial anodes fitted inside the tank, normally such sacrificial anodes are made up of zinc among the other elements and provide excellent preventive measures to fight and corrosion within the tanks, especially the ballast tanks. Due to their sacrificial nature, the anodes over a period of time get wasted. Hence, to maintain the integrity, anodes have to check and inspected closely for excessive wear and tear. A record of material wastage should be maintained for future examination. One must also inspect whether the anodes are well secured to the brackets provided. So number 4, checking for damages or cracks or deformation. Adequate lighting in the tanks is necessary for the inspection work and for identifying deformation or surface dents. Ang pasabot ani is check on ang naabay mga crack sa steel plates, naabay nga damage like taya. Di ba kanang taya kung sobraan na crack mo jud ng steel plates, or inspection po ng mga nalumit-lumit pa nang murag na deform doon yung kanang murag nagdasmagan og murag nagdasmag ang duha ka barko na nay malumping deformation. O kanang pasabot aning adequate lighting in the tanks, kanang naay buslot, kanang muhungaw mo nay pasabot ani. So shadows are one of the best indicators to highlight buckling or cracks within the tanks. So with these shadows, pasabot ani nay buho, nay buslot na makasud ang siga sa adlaw ato sa mga tanks. So however, this may not be case of darker paints, coatings, cold tar, epoxy, for example, where the tanks have been lit up to the max to locate the defects. Deformation may generally not be readily evident when viewed over a larger area. To identify this, it is good to highlight the area using a high beam torch by projecting it parallel to the surface. So fifth, pitting corrosion and blister formation. So pitting corrosion is often known to be observed in the bottom plating of the ballast tanks, especially near the bell mouth. Near the bell mouth in a liquid cargo tank or next to suction wells associated with the submerged pump or pumps fitted within the tanks. Fitting corrosion begins mainly with the local breakdown of the coatings, exposing the bare metal and thereby getting accentuated by oxidation and galvanic reaction in the area. Blister formation is a common sight in the areas where the surface preparation is inadequate before application of paint coats, or for some reasons the coating failed to adhere the surface. So ang pasabot aning pitting corrosion and blister formation is ang pagkuan sa taya o ang pag-prepare sa blister dapat sakto na before pa ako og pintura dapat masakto na og apply ang blister para nindot pud tanawon ang barko dili na murag nay insumi. So 6 is condition of the tank gauging system. So gauging system that include gas measuring gauge, pressure gauge, temperature gauges, remote level sensing meters, sounding pipes, as well as striker plates should be checked for functional abnormalities. So rusting too is often found underneath the tank top near the conduits that encompass the gauges. So if possible, it is always a good idea to try and clear out debris, for example mud or oil deposits, manually from the remote measuring sensors and attempt operating them. So ang pasabot ani is mga gauging systems like kanang mga kwan sa makina sa sod or kanang sa gawas para ng meter sa air pressure or temperature. Dapat walay taya, ay kung nay taya dili mo tarong kinay hungaw, tayan siya tapos mabuslot o hungaw na kayo, malfunctioning na ang imuhang temperature if nay taya tas nabuslot. Or sounding pipes na ay taya tapos na buslot. So dapat inspeksyonon daan before butang or himuon. So 7, condition of the safety devices. Safety devices fitted in the tanks is critical for providing the operators a remote indication of an unwanted threat such as water ingress in the bilge of cargo holds due to sweating or any other reason for the matter. Therefore, the importance of such devices on board is high and should be regarded as a priority for visible examination. It is not very frequent that the bilge, high level and the low level alarms of critical spaces such as in the ship's chain locker, dry cargo holds, void spacers, etc. would be manually tested and scrutinized closely for operational deficiencies. So ang pasabot aning ika-7 is ang mga safety devices for the cargo may kailangang inspeksyonon po daan, lalo na pang-indicate siya sa mga water ingress. Kaya kung naani siya like guba siya or buslot or usa pa na, dili siya matarong o indicate. Tamotrag moto emergency na water ingress tapos pagtan-aw sa mga mga mate murag wa man kasi mo na kaingon na murag wa kasi mo na ilhanan na wasa kabantay na naday buslot na naday taya mo nang wa na ni gana. So we must avoid. So 8 is condition of the mud or sludge build up. Mud means baha or gabaha ang oil, ganun. Accumulation of mud and oily sludge in the tanks could be detrimental in terms of hiding away serious defects and also to promote the development of structural deterioration underneath of the horizontal parallel surfaces. Therefore, it is highly recommended to remove the excess debris prior to any tank inspection. This means washing crude oil tanks enough to visibly locate the defects or physically hosing down the mud accretion in the ballast tank. So, it means condition of mud and sludge build up. Dapat inspeksyonan pod or tanawon kung wala ba'y nag-leak na oil. Causes of mud or oily sludge in the tank is leaking of oil or wala na lack og tarong. So inspeksyonon daan or naabay imuhang steel plates na gitaya na nabuslot tumoto gabaha. May dapat inspeksyonon daan ng mga steel structures or mga steel kung gipang taya ba dapat yung buliton wildingon jud wala na jud mungaw o buslot. Yung mo na ka makakos na manggawas ang mga oil tas makakos og maring pollution sa dagat. So the last is the condition of the cargo equipment. So cargo equipment within the tanks includes heating coils, cargo pumps, crude oil washing machines, remote gauging systems, temperature or heat sensors, etc. So a leak, buslot or hungaw na test using a leak test using a compressed air or steam could be carried out in heating coils whereby the pipe work and steam traps within the tanks must be thoroughly inspected visually for faults and leaks. The competent officer should be also physically ensure the optimal operation of all the cargo equipment fitted eternally. So, ang pasabot ani Lapita is magkuanog leak test about sa mga equipment. Kung mugana pa ba ang heating coils, cargo pumps, oil washing machines, or what? Na may ang cause is taya. So, finally, a few other areas on board susceptible to defects and damages that must be frequently examined or na-test. So, ballast tanks that are bordering the hot engine room spaces. So, ballast tanks and void tanks neighboring the heated fuel, oil, and cargo tanks. Tanks that are in vicinity to areas where vibration levels are high. Side shelf spaces between the loaded and light routes. Tank adjacent to external tug contact points, and last is the spaces in the forward part of the vessel, especially to be considered after heavy weather. So that's all, sir. So this is all my explanation about the general defects of the tank that affects the steel structure due to direct wear and tear. So thank you, sir.